Hi everybody, it's Meg from Books Off the Beat Path, and it's time for another early morning book review. And today we will be reviewing Kim Aldrich, The Deep Six. Now, I know I've got my half-price book sticker on there, but I was afraid of taking it off. It seems like it's tearing at the book, and I don't want to do that. Let me read the back to you. I was not familiar with Kim Aldrich, and so you may not be either. So here's what it says. Kim Aldrich once again proves that trouble and danger just naturally seek her out. Not really. This time her concern for a tiny blind girl nearly costs her life. To a missing will, add a ring of murderous car thieves, a night of terror in a raft on the open sea, and an attractive newspaper reporter, and you have another spine-tingling Kim adventure. So let me tell you about this book. And let me tell you about why, as I was reading it, I couldn't stop thinking about Ted Bundy. I know it's weird, but I told you I was never going to lie to you, and I'm not going to lie to you. I was thinking a lot about Ted Bundy when I read this book. Okay, so this book is copyright in 1974, and it's got some cute little, it used to be Jamie Richards. She got it in 1975. Doesn't she have nice handwriting? Yes, she does, Jamie. Well, it's mine now. So Kim Aldrich is a secretary at an insurance company. And don't make fun, she loves her job. But she wants to be an insurance investigator is what she wants to be. And the first thing, I've never heard of this series, never read it, nothing, never seen it or anything like that. So let me know if you're familiar with it. It's about the time, I would have been, I don't know, we'll be here all day. I was born in 68, so I don't know how old I would have been in 1974. I would have been 6. So, I could have come across it in my reading, but I just never did. I never came across Kim Aldrich. So anyway, she is a secretary at an insurance agency, and she loves her job. And I can identify with that because I'm a secretary also. Now today, in the modern world, we call them executive assistants, but it's all the same thing. You're in charge of an executive and you're in charge of his calendar and blah, 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 blah. She's doing the same thing, and she really likes her boss, and her boss is very nice and understanding when she has to take time off unexpectedly to go and deal with all these mysteries and everything. So Kim is also, I believe, ADHD. Because when the book opens, she's by herself in her New York apartment. Her father's an FBI agent, so he's off doing FBI stuff. And their housekeeper, of course they have housekeeper, their housekeeper is sick with the mumps, so she's by herself. And she just wanders, and she's just picking stuff up and putting it down, and she can't focus on anything. And so she gets her binoculars out, and she spies on the neighbors, which is something that she is known to do, to see what everybody else is doing, and she witnesses a car theft, and hence the story begins. So one of the reasons that I pulled in a lot of Ted Bundy thoughts on it were, it happened in 1974, and he was active, I believe, in 1974. And Kim, this book, really portrays women in the early 70s. They are trying to be independent. They are trying to be career focused. They are trying to be, everything that you want to be, brave and courageous and, not silly and frippery and everything like that. But social norms keep them in this little box, which puts Kim in danger several times. Now, the first example, which doesn't put her into danger, is she calls the police department and she says that she has witnessed a car being stolen, and it's this type of car and it's on this street and this is the time that it happened, and she gives a description of the men. And the police officer just blows her off and says, "Do you own the car?" And she says, "Well, no, but I just saw it." And so he's like, "Well, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't take your report." Click. That's a little misogynistic, don't you think? They could at least have sent a car to check it out. But I guess because she's a woman, and you know, and I don't want to cause controversy on this channel, but I really do think that women's roles at that time, they weren't going to take the report from her because, frankly, they didn't give her eyewitness account as much credence as they would have given a man's, per se. Then we've got the reporter boyfriend that we're not sure is the reporter. He's not telling her the whole truth about what he's doing, where he works, what he does, and everything like that, which in my mind is unconscionable. I mean, I just think that that is horrifying to have any kind of relationship with that. But Kim accepts that because she understands that, I think she even states in there at one point, that his job may prevent him from telling her the truth about what he does and everything like that. And again, I think of Ted Bundy. And I think, you know, here was Ted Bundy running around with his arm in a sling and, oh, I'm so hurt and everything like that. And then these women are very accepting of that explanation instead of pursuing it. Like, I would have wanted Kim to say, no, I'm not going to go out with you until you tell me what you actually do. Like, he tells her he's a reporter, but he never tells her where he works. And she calls these newspapers to try to track him down. They don't have any account of him and everything like that. And she accepts that. And she's like, well, maybe they just don't have any account. I'd stop the relationship right there and say, hey, I've called all these newspapers and he said that they've never heard of you. What's going on? And he, you know, at one point gives her some half-ass line like, well, I'm working on deep cover and everything like that. I wouldn't trust this guy as far as I could throw him. And then the final Ted Bundy tie-in that I get on here is she keeps doing things that she doesn't want to do because she doesn't want to make a scene. Like, there's one scene, let me move up here a little. There's one scene in particular where she and the boyfriend, or she and the reporter, I won't call him a boyfriend yet, she and the reporter are at a salvage yard. They're at a junk salvage yard. And they are looking for the stolen car. And so this really sleazy kind of mafia type man says, let me take you in the truck. We'll ride in my truck and we'll go to the other end of the salvage yard and we can look for the car there. And Kim states in this book, the last thing she wanted to do was get into the truck with this very sleazy, sketchy guy. But she was afraid of causing a scene. So she gets in. She could have easily been killed. Easily. And I think that just keeps going back to, you know, when I was reading The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule, which is all about Ted Bundy, I kept thinking about, I was trying really, really hard not to victim blame because I was like, why are they just going off with them? Why are they just going off with them? Well, Kim gave me another insight onto that. Because of the times in the early 70s, there's a lot of putting down feminists. You know, they want to make sure she's not a feminist, like the mafia guy and the boyfriend at different times tease her about being a feminist, which of course I found very offensive because I'm like, what's so wrong with that? Another very telling 1970s faux pas, I guess you'd say, not a faux pas, but something that they did they did it deliberately, was this little girl that they're concerned about is mentally handicapped, but they keep calling her retarded. She's retarded. And then Kim refers to herself as, I'm so retarded. Like, you know, oh, I'm trapped in this ship and everything like that. And I'm so retarded, I can't find the door and everything like that. So didn't like the use of that word at all. But yeah, I mean, Kim was okay. I think I gave it a 3 or 4 stars. Because the story moved along pretty quickly and everything, and it was relatively logical and everything, but I had Ted Bundy vibes from the moment I started this. I could really see how predators would be out there in the early 70s, really, and I'm just not talking about Ted Bundy. I know there were other serial killers out there in the 70s that preyed upon women's kindnesses and women's acceptance of the social norms. You know, don't scream, don't make a scene, don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass people. And frankly, the men in the book don't take her seriously at all. Even her boss, when she asks for 3 days off in a row without any explanation or anything like that, kind of laughs it off. Oh, Kim, what trouble have you gotten yourself into now? And everything like that. I don't know. I'm undecided about it. But I don't know if you could ever even find these books again. I found it at Half Price Books, and there was only the one. If you are a Kim Aldrich fan, or you know more about Kim Aldrich, or you think I'm unfair in my review, please leave a comment and let me know. But yeah, got a lot of Ted Bundy vibes off of it. I could really sense that predatorial feeling that Kim felt really in dealing with people that she enjoyed being around, people that she didn't enjoy being around. I mean, they were all so misogynistic towards her. Anyway, that's my review for the day. I don't know where it's going to land on the YouTube spectrum, but I'm reading another book at the moment, and I have a couple of book tags I want to do. So I forgot. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will check you later.